Well, hey there. Happy Tuesday, everybody out there in Trainerize Made Simple Land. I'm making this video for you guys as a tutorial on how to set up your platform to be able to utilize the mass massively cool and awesome new features set up by Trainerize for us to be able to allow client self-booking. Now, this is something that needs to be considered on your part for your business on a couple of levels. First and foremost, the advanced kind of knowledge before we get in and you get kind of spun around with all the cool stuff that you can do. First thing to consider is how you use your calendar. So, for example, somebody like myself, the way I use Google Calendar, I can't use this system yet because it's going to require a lot more effort. Now, the reason for this is that I run, and many of you guys know this, I do business coaching for people who want to set up or optimize their online or their hybrid business. I specifically mentor people in Trainerize, and a lot of you guys out there have worked with me in that, and thank you for that. I do health coaching. I do fitness coaching. So all of my health coaching clients and all of my fitness coaching clients are in Trainerize. My business coaching clients are not in any way, shape, or form. And then, of course, I've got regular life, and I'm very schedule driven. So I schedule blocks of time for Shannon and I to go out and hike or kayak. I schedule appointment calls, video calls with my daughter who's down in San Diego finishing up school. I schedule things because I want to do them. But in doing that, right now, the way the functionality is here, that's a next step for Trainerize to go out and look at my Google Calendar and say, are you available? It's only going to look at what we set up here inside Trainerize. So if you run a very focused or a single-sided or whatever it is type of business to where you've got your stuff and it's pretty simple to segregate out your thing, like um, maybe your business is quote unquote half a day part-time business to where you're working from 9 until 1 every day. Prior to 9, you're doing your own thing, or you got your kids or whatever's like that. After 1, you got to pick your kids up, or you're off doing other things, or you're just off. That might be simple enough to where you're focused 9 to 1 Monday through Friday on your business, and you can take these appointments and your Google Calendar is open for that. This is going to work great. But in my testing of going through this, I've got between booking my own workouts, business coaching, Zoom calls, Trainerize mentoring Zoom calls, project work. The great guy down in Australia that I've been writing programs and building, helping him build out his platform. I have to schedule, block that time off. I'm accountable to produce things in a certain time frame, and those were getting booked on. I was able to book on top of those as me as a client coming in. So if you've got things like that, you're either going to have to wait and like me, stay with it on your other platform. Like I've still got to stay on Acuity for my stuff because Acuity will look at all that stuff. Or you've got to put the mental bandwidth in to segregate your business. Like for instance, if I were to do this, I would look at it and say, okay, I will business coach Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 a.m. to noon. So that's not going to be available in Trainerize whatsoever. I will take client coaching and consults and things like that in the afternoons. So the only appointments I'm going to have available in Trainerize as we walk through the setup is I would have to make sure that nothing started before 12 noon Monday through Friday and it ended at whatever time I was satisfied with, and that none of my business coaching appointment links allowed those windows, because otherwise I could very easily get it could be a call with Trevor of Trainerize to go over things that they're thinking of doing and they want some feedback on, and then on top of that would be a client check-in or something like that. So there are still limitations or considerations as to how you use this. But with that said, this is really cool, and I'm excited for where it's going. But first thing off, before clients get into it and things like that, I'll probably be making another video on what the client sees and how the client uses it later in the week. But for any of that to matter, you've got to do what's in this video. So now, let's get to work. So the first thing you notice is I'm on my business platform, logged in as the owner. As the owner, you're the only, or the admin, owner or admin are the only persons can set up appointment types. So I'm in settings, appointment types, and here's a bunch of different appointments we have in our business. Some we use and some are for play, but they're all here. The first thing you have to do is actually have appointments that allow client self-booking. So you can see across here, nice. I mean, this is a good presentation as far as what is each appointment. You can see right there with it. I wish Trainerize allowed wrap around descriptions, but you can hover over it and get it. That's cool. It tells you the duration, the type, and everything I do is in person. This is just for fun. And then it tells you whether it's a paid appointment where they have to have some type of credit for it, whether it's allowed self-cancellation by the client, which I do like to permit, if it's self-booking, which you can see I've turned several on, and if it's attached to session packs, which I don't do, but I have one that is set up for that. And then I've got a whole second page here, including one that's a group meeting that allows up to 10 people. So, and well, I get to it in just a second. But head back over here to page number 1. So you can see this 45-minute video coaching appointment does not allow self-booking yet. The way you get this, you either edit a current appointment or you create a new one. So right here under 45-minute coaching appointment, you always have to have a name. You pick your time, number of clients. For a group appointment, it's anywhere from 2 to 49. And then from 2 to 49 for your group. And by the way, group, you can't currently do this type of self-booking. Self-booking is only in person, and I'll show you that when we go set up a singular appointment. But it's a virtual in the app. You can allow them to cancel. This is per appointment specific. I'll show you in a second the business-wide setting that will otherwise override this if you don't enable that. And then show availability client right here. That turns it on. That allows the client to see it, which I've already got several, so I'm not going to enable another one. But just to show you something here, if you set up a group appointment, let's say we're going to go allow 12 people, and whether it's in person or virtual doesn't matter. Right now, they don't have group self-booking yet. So you'll have to do the group booking for groups at the moment. If I recall correctly, the Trainerize development team is looking at having, well, it's on the roadmap plan, I think for the 4th quarter this year. So you can't hold me to that. That's just based on what I've seen them say, but I think that's their target, to try to get something like that in place. And this was a necessary step to get there, honestly. But so the first thing you have to do, like I said, you have to allow self-booking on appointments. Now, while you're on this screen, you might as well take a look at your business-wide booking window. So the booking window, it's just simply how much lead time before I allow someone to schedule an appointment. Like, can they book an appointment 4 hours from now? Or can they book it for when? My standard is 24 hours, and I keep that. And then how far forward and again, I'm the type that I don't want someone booking out 90 days or 60 days, because one, I don't want to be looking at my special days that far out. And two, kind of all the juice and momentum and purpose of a meeting, at least for me and what I do in my experience, is kind of lost. I want, when someone books an appointment, I want to be getting into it pretty soon. I don't want a lot of lead time getting to it. So my experience for what I do, 21 days is about right, between giving you enough window of a time to find something that fits you and your time and time zone and what you can permit, and it's still close enough that when we get to it, we can build into it and get it. So on this screen, enable have self-booking options and set your client booking windows. Boom. That's kind of the simple point for what you're doing. Now that you have appointments, so that you can actually have appointments booked, now it's coming over to what is now this expanded range, kind of like it used to be like payments where it's just that and then options. Now you have two subfolders here. One is availability. And this is the one we kind of need to dig into because this is going to require some good thought process on you and your business and what you want, because you're now putting into structure what you want people to do because you're allowing them to self-book. So you need some really good understanding, and if things bump or miss, you just dial it in. It's no big freak out. But there's four types of availability, and they do have a hierarchy, meaning one will override the other. So covering them in that sequence. One type is your vacation time off. That's the highest priority. If you have a day scheduled for time off, that's it. It's off. It doesn't matter what any of this other stuff is set for. It's a day off, and that day off function and functionality will happen. The second one is date specific availability. So for instance, let's say this 25th of February is a Friday. Under normal conditions on a Friday, I'm available from 9 to 3 for virtual appointments. However, on this day, I'm only available from 12 to 2:30. And let's say when I booked that, I made a mistake. It's like, actually, Shannon and I are heading out midday to go. Well, it's February. We're not going kayaking. We're going to go for a hike. It's going to be cold. So I'm going to edit that sucker, and I'm going to pull it up and say, okay, so let's say morning routine and stuff like that. I can start taking appointments at 7:30, but I'm only going to take them until, say, 11, because at 11 I want to start packing up, get my backpack set up and all that kind of stuff, and get out of here so that we can go hike. And because it's actually not a day up here in the Pacific Northwest until maybe 2 o'clock, and then it's sunny and warm and all that other kind of stuff. So you got basically 2 to 4, 2 to 5 this time of year. In the summertime, you got like 2 to 8. So now this overrides that Friday. You can't book an appointment after 11:30 to 3. So it goes vacation time first, date specific availability second, category or appointment type third, and you create a specific appointment type availability here. You can type a name and you add appointments, and I've got some that I added. The final consideration is general availability. So this is the underlying premise. All these other considerations on top of that. So for instance, to me, new consults and assessments is kind of one type of mind flow. So I have a couple appointments here, and they're limited to just Tuesdays and Thursdays during the day. And these vacation days override that. So those are different. Client check-ins, again, those are easy to do. You're keeping up with your clients, so they have that type of thing. And then coaching calls have specifics. I haven't set that up. I didn't play with it that far. But you can just see different types of specific availabilities. So we talked vacation, date specific, appointment type or categories, and then your general availability. That's the sequence by which things go. So we didn't click and go off on vacation time. If I click here on vacation time, it's going to take me over to my account. So let me click on that, and it's going to pop us up into my account information. So I mean, you can see this is your profile for your Trainerize.me and all that kind of fun stuff. It's where you get to pick your preference for your exercise videos. And then this is where you set your vacation time. So talking about this for a minute, vacation time, it's an all-day thing. No appointments can be booked. No message notifications are going to happen, I believe. Now, one thing I personally would like, I'd like to be able to describe these things. And it's just me. I mean, to me, context matters. This isn't a vacation day. This is a holiday. This was the U.S. President's Day in the United States. This is Good Friday and Easter. So we're going to be taking that 4-day weekend off. This is Memorial Day. So Memorial Day weekend we're taking off. So those will be holidays. And then, like for instance, our daughter is graduating college this coming May 14th. So we're going to be traveling down to participate and be with her then. So that would actually be a holiday, and I would book in those days. So vacation is an all-day thing. It can be many days, but they can't overlap. So like for instance, this is the 15th to the 18th. I could not have a vacation that is the 17th to the 21st. So that's that. You can have an autoresponder that you turn on or turn off. And again, I would love if each of these became distinct, almost like an auto message function, to where I could set an autoresponder on or off. And I could have it like specifically for a 1 day event. Hey, first name, I'm out of the office and offline today for US President's Day holiday. I'll reply back to you tomorrow. And then maybe for the trip to go to our daughter's graduation, which is going to be about a week, it would be, hey, first name, thanks for your message. We're out of the office and offline this week for vacation, for family vacation. We're traveling. We'll be checking messages on and off. Otherwise, we'll get back to you upon our return May 24th or whatever it's going to be. So it'd be cool to do that. Now, the workaround is simply after each of these events, just come in and change your message, because that will be the message the next time this trigger happens. But so you have that there, and then to get back to availability, you pop over here. So keep in mind, these are not business-wide settings. These are account or trainer specific settings. As the owner of a business, I cannot go into one of the staff members or team members and set their hours unless I have their login and log in as them. So something to take a look at. I don't mind showing you our team. So what we have going on here, we've got 4 staff members between my wife and I. So the main one for our health coaching is both of us together. We do this as joint owners, operators, directors. So it's Rob and Shannon. We both see everybody's message to and fro, and that's all one shared thing. So there's no duplicity or double statement of things. And you can see, we don't run a whole lot of clients, but it's a lot of time. It's a lot to do. So that's about a full load. Regular fitness coaching clients or otherwise single focus type of things other than not heart rate variability based health coaching are listed under me specifically. So I deal with that. That doesn't bounce into Shannon's attention or whatnot. If it's something we do need to talk about, we can. Rob is an admin. This is simply my admin access where I have 2 demo clients. I think it's just a new client and whatever the demo account is. And then we used to do quite a bit of Spartan obstacle course race coaching, so we had a coach specifically for that. We haven't pushed that in quite a while. We let that peter away in the last several years, but we did do a lot of that in the past. I'm a level 2 Spartan SGX coach, so we did have a lot of fun with that for about 6 or 7 years or so. But those are our 4 trainers, so I would have to log in as Rob to set the hours for Rob. I'd have to log in as a Spartan in order to set the availability for that. What you see that we just set up for, this is specifically for Rob and Shannon as to what our hours are. And you can see that when you go into edit, you can actually set split days. So like for instance, on Tuesday, we're available between 8 and 11, and then we're available from 3 to 6. So, and once you get your stuff set, make sure you save it. So hopefully this is kind of simplified down the sequence of operations and things you need to do to get set up in order to allow your clients to self-book. A couple of extra considerations as far as whether it will work for you, because the last thing I would want to see is someone to come into this and think that it's at that fully mature programming stage where it looks at all your different calendars and everybody talks and plays together. Because I know we've come to expect a lot of technology these days, and while this is pretty awesome, it's not at that stage yet, and getting double booked can be a pretty anxiety driving sequence if you don't catch it in time. So with that said, if this works for you, man, this is really cool. That's how you get all your stuff set up. And like I said, in a couple of days, I'll put together something as far as what the client sees. One thing in particular about the client and why it's probably not that big of a deal to get your clients all communicated with it yet, you've got to be running app version 7.23, which the standard Trainerize app is there. I don't think custom branded apps are there yet, but I know until my standard Trainerize app that I use as a client, until it got upgraded to 7.23, I wasn't able to see the functionality to book an appointment and things like that. Once it did, it was there. So that'll be the first question if your clients become aware of it or you've already stepped out and done it, is you got to have the right version on the app. This is an app and a web platform operation for clients, which you'll see in my video. The client can either book from their web platform or they can book from their mobile app. So again, hope this makes sense. If you like this video and it worked for you, please do us the favor and like it. We could we could use the love to expand that out. And then secondly, any comments, feedback, questions, and things like that, please keep them in this thread so that we can keep a focus on this one thing so that they don't sparse out into 500 different posts. If you do that, I greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody's having a great day, and I appreciate your time to watch this video.